Hi, I'm Vanessa Simone,
And I'm Mimi Hayes.
and we are
The girls next door. Before we jump into today, Vanessa, you were about to compliment me,
I
I believe.
was, yes.
Say
Attention
more.
hoe right here.
Say more.
Literally attention hoe. No, we were, okay. I was just looking at her. Look at these colors on her, right? And look at her eyeshadow and everything. She looks so good. And I was like, whatever you did for your birthday, that makeup that you did, I freaking loved it. And your lip, I loved it. I feel like you found your colors.
Mhm.
Like, did you do one of those tests? Like, the colorful tests?
I did not do a color test, but
Whoa.
I've been told to tone it down with a dark red color. I mean, I'm never going to stop wearing the dark red, but the pink is really
It's
complimentary.
so beautiful.
And purple's always been my favorite color, so I always wear purple when I can. I painted my nails purple.
Look at her eyes right now.
My
They're
eyes.
literally.
But she goes, "What did you do differently?" I said, "I spent $300 at Sephora. That's what happened."
That sounds about right?
But I left my foundation in a hotel in North Carolina, so I had to go replace it. So then when I went to go replace it, I told them, why is my makeup always falling off my face? And they're like, do you use a primer? I was like, no. What am I, a Kardashian? No, I don't use a primer.
You're like, no, what is that?
So then she's like, okay, so here's a primer, and here's a moisturizer, and here's a this, and here's a that. I'm like, $300 later, I look fucking amazing.
You knew. Who knew? It's $300 makeover.
All right, what are we talking about today, V?
We are talking about Canva Create Conference because last week we went to Canva Create, which is located in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And many of you use Canva as creatives or even not as creatives. And so we wanted to talk about our findings and everything that happened because that was really a fun, special day.
It was super fun. I didn't know what to expect. I use Canva. Let's talk about how each of us uses Canva.
Mm-hmm.
I use Canva for show posters, social media posts, my business when I'm doing a social media post, cute writing quotes, memes. I make memes on there. So really anything that I want to do for my comedy or my performing or social media is from Canva.
Yeah, I use Canva for a plethora of things as well. So recently, using it for its sheets, for its editing, you can edit sheets and you can make data look really fabulous and pretty. So I use it in my regular job for work and making things pretty. And then for my creative side, I actually have my modeling comp card on there, my media kit, anything that I have to send to brands that I want to be in alignment with my branding, I send through there. And it's truly just such a great tool, considering I think I pay $120 or something a year.
Yeah, for pro. Yeah, you could write that off easily. It's totally worth it, I think. I've even had friends. I've made music like EP covers on there.
Oh yeah,
because you're like, oh, you have pro, and I was like, yeah, just tell me what you want, and I'll whip something up. Presentations. My next show I'm writing, I'll have a presentation behind me, like slides behind me. I'm having a lot of fun on Canva doing that. There's just so much you can do. And there's so much I still don't know about it, and I want to learn. And so that's why I was interested in the conference, because there's a lot of pieces of it that I don't know how to use, and I want to. And they were rolling out a couple of new products as well.
Yeah. And I also use it for building out booklets for my Airbnb, like the instructions, but also I'm building out a photo book, basically a coffee table book. So I'm going to do it in Canva with all the photos of travels and just photos that I love in general. So
it's cute.
Yeah. But I too, like Mimi, even though I use Canva pretty frequently, it seems like they're always coming out with so many new updates. And so for me this time around, I did want to learn about the new updates. And then also, I love that Canva actually brings in different guests. And so we'll talk about those things there. But Canva is a wonderful tool. I think it's sometimes I think I'm stealing from them because I'm like, everybody else charges creatives an arm and a leg to have a tool that works for you, and
it's very affordable,
right? Like for one, however much we said a year, I'm paying way more on other things. And so, Canva, if you hear this, do not raise your prices. We don't mean that. We mean keep it still affordable, okay?
So I heard I could make more money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I something I really loved that I learned at the conference was how great the tool is for teachers. And I was like, damn, if I'd had this 10 years ago when I was a teacher. And actually, you told me they launched in 2016. So I actually was still a teacher, but I didn't know about Canva. And it wasn't like mainstream.
Yeah, it was the early
They were
stages.
probably a small company at the time. And they're from Australia, apparently.
Yeah, so a little background behind the Canva brand. Melanie Perkins is her name Perkins? Oh my gosh, Melanie, I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Melanie.
Melanie, maybe Perkins, is the co-founder of Canva. And she actually she had the idea of Canva because she wanted graphic design to be accessible to everybody. And so she went pitching her idea to many venture capitalists, over 100 venture capitalists. And guess what? They all said no until her 100 whatever something one said yes. And now Canva is a multi-billion with a B dollar company. And I'm just like, I bet you those VCs were kicking themselves. They're like, man, we really missed out. So listen to women on their ideas. Okay.
Yeah, you should probably listen to women.
Because it could make you wealthy.
Oh, yeah. And they went all out. So first I want to finish my train of thought on the teachers.
Please.
So yeah, when I was teaching, I was always making lesson plans and PowerPoints and worksheets from scratch. And there is a site called Teachers Pay Teachers, which teachers can sell their own materials online. I don't think I ever wanted to spend that kind of money, nor did I have it. So I was like, I'll just make my own stuff all the time, stay up past midnight, making this thing look pretty and making this look whatever. And then one of the things they first rolled out of this new product was like Educate, like Canva Educate or something, Educator. And just, you literally can type into the AI, I'm making a lesson for 5th grade social studies. These are the core competencies we need. And I want a worksheet to go with like my video about like ancient Greece. Boom, done. Like obviously you're going to tailor it. You're going to make it your own, but it just pops out like a whole lesson plan and a whole thing and a whole power. I'm like, oh my God, that would have saved me so much time.
So much time.
I was just like, wow, I can't wait to call all my old teacher friends and be like, do you have Canva?
Do you have Canva?
You need to get
You
on
need
Canva.
that. It is worth it.
Yeah, but they really went all out. I like the personality behind the brand. Again, I didn't know what to expect, but it was like Disneyland. It was like adult playground. Like you walk in
to this, it's the YouTube Theater, which is adjacent to SoFi Stadium. And the YouTube Theater it's gigantic in there. And they have multiple stages, but there's the main stage, just like your normal theater. But you walk in and it's all purple and pink and blue. They're Canva colors. And as you sit down and this man comes out in this full-on sparkly outfit.
The fit was amazing.
It was a dream. I want the outfit. Yeah. I want the fit. But
and he came out and obviously introduced the whole conference. There were thousands of people there. It was a very packed theater. And then they did this whole like pony show. Like they were like rolling out all these new products and then like, oh, let's bring in this live band to like introduce the last like rollout of all these things. And they like wrote a song about it. And like every time they said a new thing, something would come on stage because they're like Canva AI. It can make whatever you want it to make. And they're like, what if we had like
a ballerina?
And then a ballerina comes out on stage. Like, what about a bunch of cowboys? And then the bunch of cowboys came on and spacemen and astronauts and like confetti was falling from the sky and everyone's up and dancing and it's just like it was so extra and I loved
so
it.
extra. I was like, I see why this was this expensive. It was extra.
Yeah, they upped the prices, right?
They did. It used to be like $180 or $190 last year, and this year was $395, which I was like, Canva, please, you're not keeping that for somebody we came from out of state. Like that's adding up for us, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
you can lower the prices next year. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. Today, those like sites that tell you how much money you're spending. Today I got an email and I was like, is that a real number of money I spent this month?
I got one of those.
Is this real?
I was like, oh, dang, you know what? May's going to be a month where I chill out for a second. Yeah, unless I get invited somewhere, we're not going anywhere. We're staying inside.
Humble asses at home. But yeah, so before the conference happened, they rolled out the program. So you could go through the program and like download the app and like click on the certain sessions that you wanted to go to. And there were many different venues within the main, stadium situation. So you kind of had to run all over to find different speakers and sessions and panels. They had anything from like, AI and like how to use it ethically, which we have an episode on AI as well. I don't know which one that is, but go listen to that. They had sessions on like small business ownership,
small businesses, how they can use Canva. They had how to use Canva for generating really beautiful data. So graphs, and for any person who has to deal with a lot of numbers, you can make your numbers look pretty. And so many other things that they had that were side sessions from the main keynote event, where in the keynote they basically rolled out those launches like Mimi said, and then listed off every single thing that they've updated since last year. What were some of your, besides the teaching one, I guess my favorite update was that they have Canva offline. So one of Canva's goals or their initiatives is they really want to be accessible to everyone. And so I thought it was really cool that they actually launched Canva offline so you can actually work on your projects, save your projects, get back to where you were, all while being without the Wi-Fi. So that's very interesting because I know there are so many people around the world. Now this is making Canva a global thing that people can have access to no matter where they are, which is insane. I have no idea how you even do something like that, but
I don't know the math behind that.
Yeah, or the coding or whatever it is, but
yeah,
you know what?
Fancy.
Yeah, and they have Canva code now as well. They have so many things within Canva. I cannot.
Yeah, I will say I actually experimented with the Canva AI 2.0. So like there's a search bar and you can say, hey Canva, make me a presentation for I actually did this the other day, for my clown show. I shouldn't have said the word clown. That was my first mistake because I couldn't expect Canva AI to understand what I meant by clown, which is alternative theater, not like red nose honk honk balloon animals clown.
With big red shoes.
Big red shoes. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But that's what most people think when they think clown. So I said, I need my character's name is Darla, and she's a clown, and she travels the world and gives these tours, but the tours are all made up. The facts are all lies. She's a quirky girl. She's crazy. And so I try to have it spit me out like a template, and I was like, oh, that's not exactly what I was looking for. But we had Canva make our show logo.
Yeah, which we don't really love.
Which we need to work on. Yeah. And we're both on the same mind of like we want to hire someone to make something that feels like genuine to us.
Right. And it's going to feel good to hire somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Right. But it was interesting because with Canva AI, they did talk about, they had a lady come out and she basically spoke about how she's planning out her whole wedding using Canva AI. So she shows her whole wedding planning process, how she used it to basically do the guest list and the invitations and this and that and that. And when it came down to her vows, this is where it was nice because she said, some things do need to come straight from the heart. So I like that they're giving the subtext to discern when you do need AI versus when you really should be doing things on your own. And I think that that's important because I know it's so much controversy around AI and everything. So, take it with what you feel with that. But I did have a wonderful time at the conference. I think we should talk about some of our favorite sessions or keynotes that we had. The first one being, so they invited Jon M to do an interview with the host of Canva. And Jon M, if you don't know, is the director, producer of Now You See Me, um, what is it? Crazy Rich Asians, and of course, Wicked and Wicked for Good. So I was freaking out. By the way, I have a whole YouTube on my Canva about my Canva experience, so you can go take a look at that.
Yeah,
Shameless
we'll
plug
put it in
here.
the show notes.
And so it was actually so interesting to learn from him because he's talking about how you're using lighting and sound and all of these details to pretty much make a moment. And one of the moments in Wicked is when we see her for the first time as an adult. And rather than making it some obvious gesture and panning from her, going from a young child to suddenly an adult, instead of making some obvious gesture, all she does is this, swiping her hair behind her, around her neck to the front of her shoulder. And when she does that, you see the back of her neck in her hand, right? And so that's the first scene of us seeing her as an adult. And it's so interesting because he's talking about all these little moments that we don't that he used to make, so that way it's still dramatic, but the audience is inferring something versus making it so obvious, like I'm an adult now or something, or I'm angry or I'm this. It's how do you use the light? How do you use little motions to emote these things and make it more dramatic? Because he also talked about the difference between theater. You're sitting far away from somebody in a theater, but then when you're watching a movie, it could be far away from you in the theater or 4 inches, close to your face. So you have to think about every single detail, even more so in some ways than somebody who's on a theater set is doing. And so just thinking and hearing his thought process was beyond fascinating to me. And I'm telling everyone I was in the same room as Jon M. Chu. So, yeah.
Yeah, and like his just creativity and the way he thinks. A session I went to was Debbie Millman. She runs a podcast called Design Matters. And I've been following her for years because she was one of the first podcasts. Like she's had one of the longest standing podcasts of all podcasts. Her name is Debbie Millman. She's married to Roxane Gay. And so she was interviewing, I want to say his name was Bobby Hundreds. He was someone I didn't know, but he had a brand and he had a company. And I loved his story around like how it came to be. And it was like so up and coming, like kids like selling stuff out of the back of their car, like merch. And so he has like a clothing brand. And so like he's just started with like a printing, like a screen printer. And he would like make these shirts and these brands, and like he wanted it to represent like the diversity that he felt as an Asian American and the clothes that he wanted to wear and that his friends were wearing. And grew up in like a inner city, and so he would just with his friends would start doing this. But also I want to say that he was going to law school, and so like he maybe he was doing the art stuff on the side, right? And then he like went to law school, and one of his mentors was like, are you sure about this? Like, is this really the way that you want to go? Because I can tell you're not lit up about this. And that really spoke to me because I've had that conversation and someone saying, are you sure you're supposed to be a teacher? You kind of seem like you're supposed to be something else. So just listening to that, it's a scary conversation to have, right? Especially if you like don't have confidence that you can build a $1 billion, brand or whatever it is, be an artist. So I love the story behind that. And then I just love Debbie Millman. I think she's a good interviewer as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's fascinating because when Mimi told me this part as well, it's brought up a lot of inner things for me. Because as you guys know, I work my regular job, but I am switching, and starting to do stuff on my own, but it's going to be a lot to go from, being an engineer to being a full-time artist is going to be terrifying, but I also know I can do that as well. But and then going back to Jon M. Chu, I forgot about this, but when he was in film school or so, a lot of his peers had to show other films. And so one of his peers showed this film, and it's a woman who is opening these doors to prospective prospects in order to date them. And each door opens and it's a different, like, funny character. Like, one guy is just complete red flags, right? Another guy, maybe his, like, finances are in the drain, and then another guy, maybe he's just kind of quirky and weird. And then one of the doors opens and it's an Asian man, and everybody just starts laughing. And John was like, why? I don't get it. Like, what's funny? And one of his peers was like, well, yeah, like, he's Asian, you know? And when John described this, I knew exactly what he was feeling and talking about with that, because I know me as a Black woman, when I was trying to date, people don't really take me seriously as, like, the love interest. And so what's so interesting is now when he created Crazy Rich Asians, he wanted to showcase, while yes, it's a very funny movie, he wanted to showcase Asians in all different aspects, because for some reason, whenever we're not in a certain group, we tend to think that a different group that might be slightly different from us is a monolith, which is not true. And so it actually kind of helps spark the conversation, his movie of Crazy Rich Asians, because he's like, we can be the love interest. We are Asian men are hot men too, like, it's not this monolith or this joke. Like, he didn't understand the butt of the joke. And I was like, yeah, because it wasn't funny. Because I could so see them doing that. And so when he was talking through this story, for me, it really helped me with the stories that I want to put out there and produce, because I'm so tired of seeing my people, or like women like me, represented as either the loud one or the one who's obnoxious and not taken seriously, or never the love interest, or can't be in, like, fantasy. All things that I just disagree with. And so it made me realize these stories need to be told that are different, because the world is craving these different stories. It just doesn't know it yet. And it kind of goes to greenlighting yourself in a way, because I know that these stories might not be accepted by Hollywood, even though there is a need. Because if I need it, bet you somebody else is going to need it as well. And so that was really interesting to hear John talk about. And then there was also a man, Himede, he does set designs he did Bad Bunny set design. He did a lot of the Grammys and award shows set design, which I didn't even, I don't know why I didn't even think that that's a thing, but it is.
Well, you see the final form.
You see the final.
It's over in like a few minutes, right? And so, like, you see the final form, and you don't think about, like, all the prep. Pieces, all the prep. It was so funny hearing. So, the grass, the people that were dressed as grass, and he was like, it was a logistical thing. It was like but he was so touched that it became this, like, internet meme.
Yeah,
that was so touching, and that was so human of him when they asked him, like, what was the most meaningful thing to come from out of the Bad Bunny Super Bowl, and he was like, the grass memes.
The grass memes.
And he's like, we just put it together as, like, it was logistically, like, to get the
grass
look,
onto the stage, because
yeah.
you only have 20 minutes, like 5 minutes of prep, and then you got to be up there, and then you got to get up the grass off. So it was a logistics thing that turned into a meme across the world. So yeah, I was in Africa watching that and thinking, oh my God, look at how cute the grass is.
And then you had all the TikToks of people like me auditioning to be grass, like, with their plants inside of their plant, and they're like, yeah, I think this would be a great role for me. I really do.
It was so sweet. Yeah.
And he was really cool. We actually met him. After
very sweet.
Very nice guy.
Very sweet. Himede, if you're ever watching, I will help you with set. I don't know much, but I can be an extra hand.
I think that's how it starts, right? I don't want to say he went to school for design. He went to a design school.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was actually 2 weeks ago now. I feel
I know,
it
2 weeks.
it's
Yeah.
a
Okay.
hot minute ago, but
Mm-hmm.
really sweet man, and cool to see the people who like made that stuff happen. Like it's so
Mm-hmm.
cool to be, like you said, in the room with someone who was in the room with Bad Bunny and like
Mm-hmm.
organized everything for him and is the genius behind the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that we see that we don't even think about.
We
That's a
don't think
whole
about.
team of people making that happen, designing that,
Mm-hmm.
every single thought point, and it was very well thought out, and
Right.
nothing was on accident.
No,
Everything was very
nothing.
intentional.
And like you said, because we don't see it or think about it, it actually makes me realize there's so many places where art can be for any and everyone because you don't even know what is needed. I'd never thought about a set design and the logistics of that before that week. I mean, I thought I'd planned events and all those other things, but never
We should
thought.
get you to go see some more live theater
We
because
really
it's really
should,
cool.
yeah.
I would say like
Hmm.
I have a bit more sense of that just because I've been in the theater,
Yeah.
and you go and you see, but it's cool because you can see when you see
Hmm.
professional theater outside of just like I'm doing a high school theater, play. Like
Hmm.
you have very minimal sets and things to
Hmm.
play with because you don't have a budget. But you go see professional theater. I remember the DCPA. I want to say it was A Christmas Carol, and they had this like rotating set piece. So it's
Hmm.
like it rotates, and then there's this room, and then the next scene it rotates again. It's a different setup.
Hmm.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
I remember seeing the Notebook and they had like rain falling from the sky into a pit, which was insane. But yeah, it's like things you don't think about to make it what it is. And so, yeah, it was really cool to see. And then the last session that we went to was Issa Rae, who is one of my favorites with
Mm-hmm.
Aurora James. And that was fascinating to me because, so if you don't know, Issa Rae is a woman who created The Misadventures of the Awkward Black Girl. This was a series on YouTube. And she made these series my sisters would watch religiously when we were in high school. And she got discovered from there and now does the hit series Insecure on HBO and does producing and acting and a bunch of other things. She's been in Barbie. And so she was talking about her way of trying to do social good, and then also Aurora James. So she runs Brother Bellies, which is a fashion line inspired by a lot of African pieces. And then she also created the 15% Pledge, which that is a nonprofit for basically brands to pledge that they're going to have 15% of their inventory or of the brands that they work with be Black owned businesses, since that's 15% of the United States population is Black. And so that was really cool to see. Again, just being in the room with them, to be honest, was
Mm-hmm.
nice for me. And it was so interesting seeing like Issa right there because I love her Misadventures of the Awkward Black Girl because it spoke to me and my sisters, because I think that was the first, besides Scandal, it was the first thing I saw where it was genuinely a girl, a Black girl who's like suburban. She's not what you typically see in the media and what they always try to portray in the media of a Black woman. She's literally was me. I was the awkward Black girl. I am the awkward Black girl.
Mm.
So seeing that, my sister, she healed me and my sisters in a way that she probably has no idea that she did. But it's such a funny show
You
too.
should tell her that. I
I
feel like you
really
should
do.
email her
I
that.
really
Like you
should.
just never know.
That's
Because
true. I should.
I had that same moment with a documentary that came out in 2015,
Mm.
My Beautiful Broken Brain. And it was the
Mm.
first documentary or piece of media I saw with someone with a brain injury, a woman,
Mm-hmm.
sharing her story about her stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't just some pitiful case in a hospital bed. Like
Yeah.
anytime you hear the word stroke, A, you think of older people. B,
Right.
you think of an episode of ER and they're like in a
Mm-hmm.
hospital bed. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a comedy, you don't have a cool, like she worked with oh God, not David Byrne. Oh God, a famous filmmaker she worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And she was already a filmmaker when she had the stroke. But the way she told the story, I emailed her when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, you have no idea what you just healed in me, like
Mm-hmm.
seeing someone, myself represented, on
Mm-hmm.
film. And she responded.
I love that.
And
oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna email her.
yeah.
I'm gonna DM her and be like, I'll DM her and I'll email her somehow.
Yeah, and send her a voice note. You know, like you never know. But yeah, I mean, I think that's why they do what they do. Is they want to keep building that space for other people to share who they are.
Right. Exactly.
And to not be discouraged or to be made the butt of a joke. Right. Like she's paving the way for all of us to do what we're doing.
Yeah. And even what I love that Issa Rae said, I just popped into my mind, and it's been something that we've been, well, maybe me struggling more with is she said when she was doing the Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, before she did it, she was like, I'm broke. I have no money. I have no actor friends. I have no camera. I have no nothing. All of these are valid. They are true in the moment. However, she said, I had to sit there and think to myself, what do I have? I may not have a camera, but I have someone who has a camera. I may not have the A-list actors, but my friends want to be actors and actresses. I may not have whatever fancy gadgets and things, but I have this really unique location. And so going from there and creating the series, I think that just really it reminded me to remember you do have the things. You just have to utilize it, right? Like, I mean, right now with our podcast, I'm proud of us for, we got these microphones donated from my sister, and we're literally on a laptop. We don't even have a nice DSLR that we're doing this on, but we're just doing it for doing sake. And I think that helps, because then I think the other thing is you learn a lot about each of the different roles and aspects that go into a project like that. And it makes you an expert faster in a way. So, and I know you have plenty of experience doing a lot of those things too.
Yeah, and it was encouraging too that she's like, you just find your friends and you make stuff, and that's what we're doing, and to keep doing that, because you don't know where it's going to lead. Because maybe now it's like, okay, it's not a big deal, it's just this podcast we throw up on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
But
like 3 people watch it.
You don't we don't know the impact that it has, or if it's going to lead to another project at some point. We have no idea. No way of
but we do love doing this. I will say, every time we record, so we're having a blast.
So fun. Well, we're hitting the 32-minute mark, so we're gonna get out of here.
We're on a budget,
because we're not allowed to upload more than half an hour. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to come to the Canva Create, it's in LA once a year in the spring.
Yep. So usually April. Yep.
Come through. All right. Who are we, Vanessa?
We are the Girls Next Door. See you next time.